Welcome everyone to another Friday Crypto Night Live. Bitcoin's just spiked out. I'm very curious to see what's going to happen. Smoked, Stony, how have you guys been? How's the week been treating you? And how are you feeling about Bitcoin right now?
How's it? Yeah, it's an interesting situation we are in with this week. It's up and down. So yeah, no, it's good on this side. Smiles, how are you doing on your side?
Yeah, fine. Very, very fine. Just looking what Bitcoin is doing. Some crazy moves, actually.
Well, I think let's take a look at it. I haven't seen the most interesting things in news that I'm kind of looking for that kind of made the spike. People are referring to that the United States has been doing better, the economy's been doing better, but like I just said to you guys, something's fishy. Something's definitely up. I'm not buying what I'm seeing. Yes, it's good news. Yes, we can see that it has broken a previous structure, and we can see that it's suddenly just become very bullish after some news came from this from the United States and from the EU. So it's broken a very critical structure. Where's it going from here? I don't see the news playing a very crucial role right now. I haven't seen anything that's given me a reason that this is the big move going up. I don't know what the charts are saying to you guys, so I think let's perhaps take a discussion from there. I don't see this being the final call.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. Smile, I think you must take the lead tonight and give us your feedback because I'm always speaking first. What are you seeing? What do you think where we are in the market and where we're going?
Well, actually, I would say according to what Stony has said before. Right now, although I checked my chart about this afternoon because I was expecting Bitcoin to come down to fill up some gaps. And actually, from lower time frame perspective, from the 15 minutes time frame perspective, I was waiting for Bitcoin to come to some certain level, which let me plot that out. I was expecting Bitcoin to come to the range of 37,690. Yeah, that is the next potential buy zone we could as well push from. But unfortunately, just getting up now and checking my chart and checking some notification, I was like, wow, Bitcoin is around $40,000. Well, what I would say right now is that before we start this webinar, you said it might be a boot trap. Yeah, it might be a boot trap. Yeah, because to me, I'm not seeing anything that is driving this and that is driving price currently. What I'm seeing right now is some hidden manipulation that is about to happen. Now, as we have this unexpected move, believe me, before today runs out, or possibly tomorrow morning or stroke afternoon, you could see that Bitcoin could also fall drastically. Right now, a lot of people shorting from this particular zone that are expected to short from this particular zone that are expected to short from the 38,880. A lot of buyers, a lot of sellers there would have been liquidated by now. Means that a lot of liquidity would have been grabbed. Now, price has fulfilled what it wanted to fulfill already. Price has grabbed the liquidity already. Right now, if price is permitted to move towards the inefficiency, then I believe price is going to get to 42,910 region. That is the 42K region. Yeah, because for price to break these highs, then I believe maybe possibly price is changing trends already. But before I could also conclude on that, I must say some things that have been really, let me say, pushing the market, which I think Stony, from your fundamental view, what do you think? To me, I'm not even seeing anything that has to push price to a certain level, because there are some price, from checking a lower time frame, there are some mitigations, there are some zones that price should mitigate before we can see even this push up. Because with this push up we are seeing, these bullish candles we are seeing, there should be something responsible for it, which I don't know. Possibly from the fundamental aspect, maybe you could have some things you have to say. But to me, technically, I can say this is more like a bootstrap. Yeah, people
that's the
might
thing.
believe.
It's probably a trap. I've been looking at the news. I've been asking the question myself now. We've been trading a bit, looking at some certain coins, and we've been also looking, how the market in general has just been performing this week. And suddenly, out of the blue, we didn't expect this move coming at 3 o'clock. There wasn't something massive to indicate this. There's a lot of speculation. I've gone to look, I've gone to Twitter. There's a lot of speculation of what could have caused this, but from what I'm seeing, that's again what, like I said to Smokey earlier, something's fishy, something's up. I'd be extremely careful right now. We can see that this big swoosh, like you said, has taken out a lot of shorts. It's taking out the liquidity. So this might be a move to the upside. Might it go for the next structure to a bull run? I'm not sure. I think they're busy setting up to make a play, but this is not, in my opinion, to the upside. But the banks are definitely making some moves and taking people out.
Exactly. What I was saying is that another point of view, which I'm looking at these zones, is that price wants to do something, possibly wants to do this, a kind of taking out the shorters and also taking out the longers. Meaning that you will see after we have this break of structure, which is around the 38,880 zones, price might suddenly reverse from this zone. You see, because right now price is reacting to some kind of support supply zone, or let me call that resistance, because these zones where price is exactly, if we go to smaller time frame, you will see exactly where price is reacting to. And if you go to your 5-minute time frame, you will see a kind of accumulation, which we don't know. Maybe it's going to lead to the upside, or it's going to lead to the downside. So we have to wait exactly to know what exactly to do, because right now I won't even trade anything, because I need to know, I have to see where price is heading to exactly.
Yeah, there's no indication.
What we can say is, look, it is non-farm payroll this week for the US market. So what we can see from looking at December, looking at January, there's been quite a drastic increase in new job hires over the festive season of December, and also looking at January. In January, they projected about 125,000 new jobs being obviously created to hire people. But the actual number of hires for January was 476,000 new job hires. So that is quite an exponential increase for January. So that does affect, the sort of morale around the consumers and stuff. And if we look at stats, around the stock market, we can also see that a lot of the key, factors like the private sector, we can see consumer discrepancy and all of these things, has seemed to have a positive effect today. So obviously the electric market, what they call it, the electric, not the electric, but basically it's the electricity sector. So all your EV vehicles and all of that has seen an increase. Obviously, keeping in mind, GM is taking on Tesla in the electronic market. So there's a lot of hype around that sort of sector, and a lot of competition and money being pumped into that to obviously take on this. So there's a lot of jobs creation, and that's where it's coming back to.
But see, that's also a concern to me, because we've seen Microsoft, Tesla, all these major stocks having their best year ever. Most of these tech stocks have been doing good. Now you're also getting the natural resources doing extremely good. You're getting electric that's doing extremely good. So again, we're still sitting with this problem that we have this inflation problem we haven't solved. So if we're planning on just going back up again and pumping up the market again, it's not going to be a healthy thing. Again, that's what I'm saying. We need to see a coming down. Like, we've seen all this going up. Everything's just doing good. It can't be like this forever. It's like people are trying to keep latching onto this rope as long as they can. But we need to see a correction where we can see, a healthy correction, something very much needed. But that's why I'm saying everything is very inflated and up right now, and people are jumping on the wagon to say, cool, everything's back to normal, stocks are going up again, but we know nothing can go up forever.
For sure, but also look at obviously the wage increase that has increased from 4.9% up to 5.7% in January, which is also adding to that positive impact. And people are making the transition over to crypto, as we can see based off the news and based off various sources, where you can definitely see people are trying to sort of counter the inflation that's increasing by adding to crypto, or getting their salaries, receiving their salaries into crypto. So there's all these factors of speculation and that. But looking at the current situation of the market, we can see, if we just take a little trend line here, we can see these wicks that are forming here. We can see that there's a bit of selling pressure here if we take the high there. Now, that could mean that price has been a bit exhausted, and we could maybe see a bit of a pullback before continuation, because this was a massive pump. If we look at that on a bigger time frame, we can see this was, we were still talking earlier, and all of a sudden the alerts just went off, and we could see this massive spike happening. I think it was 5 o'clock our time, but quite interesting to see. Now the question is, what next? How do we action, and what are we going to look for to make a decision? Because keep in mind, we all are still out of the market, the majority of us. So how are we going to react to the market? Now, the first thing I would say is we need to wait for this thing to cool down and see what price is going to do. As Smiley has mentioned, this could just be a bull trap where we could see price heading up in this nice sharp direction and then fail to break above the $43,500 level, and that will give us a clear indication of a move down, because then that shows us intent that this thing is not ready to continue higher. Now, what we want to see in the next couple of days is we want to see that price can hold this higher levels and form maybe a bit of an up, followed by new higher low formation before seeing a continuation to the upside. And that is what we need to look for now, before we make a call on what we want to do in terms of whether we want to get in and out. I'm still, sitting on the 33.5. Yes, you're going to miss. To be safe and have the confirmation that this is actually going up, then sitting here and coming into the market only for the market to drop down into the mid to lower 20s, which is not what I want ideally for me personally, because that means I have to wait, I can't trade, and I just have to wait and stuff. But from a trading perspective, you could have easily traded this, keeping your stop losses tight and managing your positions for a little bit of accumulation or to make some money for the end of the month. You could have easily done that in this, price action as we can see it here. In hindsight, obviously, it's easier said than done. As I've explained to you guys earlier, like looking at when price dropped here on the 24th of January, if we play the bar replay, for example, we did not know where price was going to go from here. We needed to see clear intent to the upside or clear intent to the downside. We did not see that at this point in time. This could have easily, still gone up like it's done now, and then easily come down into lower points. So that's why it's always important for us to wait for confirmation. Now, for me, I want to see clear, confirmation above these, highs here, because this will be the structures here that we've broken and the new higher lows and higher highs that we form here. This bullish order flow, yes, that is, it is bullish at the current price, but remember where we are on the higher time frames, we could still very easily come down. It's also now the other thing that we need to consider in some parts of the world, February is a financial year end. So this could also be a sort of a last pump before obviously exiting
Getting cash out before submitting
their
it.
positions, So, and then we've got next month as well, which is also a financial year end for some companies. And January was also for some companies in some parts of the world. So we need to be very mindful of this. We also need to remember that with any pump, there's always going to be a correction. So instead of just buying the hype or when the stock is going up or the crypto projects is going up, wait for a retracement before you get in. Don't just simply buy in on the high. You want to buy low and sell high. So wait for a clear pullback before continuation. This thing can have, if I look at the data, we can easily have a 5 to a 12% correction before seeing a continuation. So it can still happen. Don't fall in the trap of that FOMO, of fear of missing out and being like, oh, I missed it. Now this thing's going to go up. I have to buy. Because there's always going to be an opportunity to get back in the market. There's so much, potential to the downside still that we see. We are just not seeing it because obviously we can see that there's a bit of hype in the market and people are pushing, but it could also be just a push and then the SEC turns around and say, oh, listen, this is the regulation. You can't do X, Y, and Z. And then the market panics and sells and then you drop further. So we need to be very cautious at this point in time. I'm not personally that convinced, but we need to see how we can trade safely or invest safely. Like a lot of the altcoins, are in really great buying opportunities. We can see some rallies in some of the top 20 coins. There's still a lot of opportunities, and tomorrow's another day. There will always be opportunities for you to get into the market. So don't rush the process. Make sure that when you enter that you've got in at the best possible price. You might not get the exact low. You'll never know what the market. There's no ways that anyone on this earth would have known that this spike, except the person that placed this trade would have known, okay, this thing is going to go up. But that would have been insider trading and you wouldn't have known it. If you were in the market this morning when price was at 36,284, fantastic. If you had just decided, listen, I'm going to buy and hold when it gets to this price, you would have been in a nice little profit now. But there's no ways of knowing at this point in time that the price would have done this.
I mean, we've been looking at the markets the whole day and we've been discussing a lot of factors, and out of the blue, this just came on. So there is no, like you said, there's no way to guarantee it. But what we do know is that there's certain things that need to happen before price can either go up or down.
No, for sure. Look, we'll have to wait and see. It is the weekend, so I am expecting a bit of a correction maybe before we start trading on the Saturday morning, and then see what the weekend's volatility brings. That's going to be quite crucial to see where we end up for this week as we head towards Sunday. So that's it from my side. I don't think there's anything we can add. Smiles, do you want to add anything to that? Is there anything that you would want to add? What are you looking for this weekend? What are you potentially expecting, to see this weekend?
Actually, I would not predict, but just wait to see what price has to do. Yeah. So everything requires confirmation in order to take a risk-free trade. So right now, I would just have to be looking and see what price, because right now where price is trading at exactly, to me is more like a danger zone, because anything can happen. Yes, exactly. Anything can happen from that zone. So in order not to get caught at the wrong hand, so we just have to wait and see what will happen.
For sure. I do think a lot of sellers are going to try and sell. We can see some selling pressure. But I think let's have a look, give it 2 days and see what it does by Sunday.
We know the weekend is usually a hot spot for crypto happenings. We know that by now. We've seen on Sunday nights, Monday mornings, we usually see something happen. So this could be a setup for them.
Exactly.
Well, it also depends on what the market does on the weekend, because the weekend's volatility will set up the next week. So that's why I don't necessarily trade on a weekend unless I really have to, or if there's really a nice setup. But the reality is that the weekend will give us indication if there's going to be a dip for the following week or if it's going to be a continuation. So let's wait and see till Sunday and then take it from there. But again, wait for that pullback. Don't just get in now and buy in while price is still, pushing upwards, because, when the correction comes, then you're going to be either stopped out prematurely or you're going to be in a drawdown, which you don't want. So, yeah. One thing I want to just mention quickly is we've launched the TradeAcade University this week. We are busy with the masterclass and the advanced masterclass. You won't see it on the website. So if you have inquiries about it, just mail the TradeAcade people. You can go on the website, or you can get in touch with the Moonacade team, and they can put you in the right channels to get more information on these other products that we are launching with the TradeAcade. For now, it's only the fundamentals course that we've got, and then there's a couple that we're going to add to roll out this. But that's the first one that we've done, that's completed, and we are going to we're busy working on the rest of the courses, but that will be released as they progress. So if you have any questions or you're interested in the more advanced stuff, just remember that you will need to do the foundation class as well, and you won't be able to skip to the rest of the course before you've done and completed the foundation class certification, which if you buy the masterclass or the advanced masterclass, that will be included in that course. You don't have to pay extra, but you would need to go through the process of the curriculum to complete that certification. That's it from me tonight. Hope you guys have a good evening, and I'll chat to you during the weekend as well as on Sunday. We'll see what the market does and to see if we can make some actionable setups.
I agree. I think it's going to be interesting, guys. Be very safe in the markets right now. Be very careful with what you see on the charts and how the bull run is going to, be going up in this weekend. So I think other than that, enjoy the weekend, guys, and be sure to check out TradeAcade University and get started with that course so you can get online and the same level the way we trade. Cheers.